You're about to hear one of those calls that perfectly captures how confidence can crumble under facts. A man claiming to be in the military calls James O'Brien's show to defend the UK's Rwanda asylum policy. He sounds sure of himself, quoting numbers, talking about costs, and believing he's making a solid argument. But there's one problem. His entire logic rests on a false claim, and James is about to expose it live, calmly and completely. Before we dive in, comment where you're watching from and don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the next one. Now let's see how a confident caller walks straight into James O'Brien's trap.
Jim's in Watford. Jim, what would you like to say?
Hello, James. Well, one potential way of looking at this is, yes, we've got immigration into this country. We've got to offer these people a very safe and secure way of seeking asylum and going through the natural process then of whether they're legitimate or not. But perhaps one element to look at here is purely the cost of it. And by all accounts, it's costing £5 million a day. So £5 million a day, 365 days in the year, that's just under £2 billion. So when you take the defence
what's costing that?
So by all accounts, the government is
Well, what do you say by all accounts? I don't mean which accounts. Well,
the government actually says that immigration costs £5 million a day.
No, it doesn't. I mean, immigration is a net positive for the British economy. You must be talking about a specific...
No, looking after asylum seekers.
Well, that's nothing to do with immigration, is it? Immigration is everybody who wasn't born here but currently works here and the financial contribution that they make to the country. So if you want to, by all accounts it, we'd have to do a calculation there, wouldn't we? And also, I'm very much in favour of letting asylum seekers work, as they are permitted to do in other countries, in which case the cost becomes zero overnight. So we've solved that problem.
I have no problem with that. If once they've actually proved who they are and what they are, because our borders aren't
they can
safe.
Work. They can work while the application is being processed.
Well, I work in the military.
In other countries.
Well, I work in the military, and part of my role is to keep this country safe.
Yes.
So by doing that, when you're actually seeing people actually rolling up on your doorsteps without any paperwork, and there is a huge amount of military.
They're not going to go through the application process, are they? Under your scheme, they're just going to disappear into the black economy, and that of course won't cost the country anything.
Not at all. But anybody that's arriving in this country without paperwork, that's seeking asylum, for instance, we need to put them through a process. Now, one way of looking at this, what success could be like, is to reduce the cost of that.
Well, you keep going on about this, but the cost of sending them to Rwanda, as opposed to letting them work while they're being processed here, is going to be immeasurably higher.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure you don't mean to, but you sound like someone who's desperately trying to come up with a theory that doesn't sound callous and racist to justify something that actually appeals to you on a more base level. But I'm sure you're not. No, absolutely. I'm categorically sure you're not. I'm just warning you that that's what you sound like.
It's just one way of looking at it.
But it isn't, though, is it? We've just established that this is a pointless argument, which is why it sounds a little bit like a fig leaf designed to disguise something uglier, because you can reduce the costs of asylum applications overnight by letting asylum applicants work and earn a crust and even pay perhaps some taxes. And the cost of sending them to Rwanda, if there are 5 people on the plane tonight, is going to be £100,000 per capita. So how does that save us money?
But that's assuming those people that are arriving in this country without any paperwork.
Well, you keep saying that they're arriving without any paperwork. So what do we do? This Iranian fellow, this Iranian policeman, presumably arrived with his Iranian passport, and they're trying to deport him. So again, it's one of those figures of speech that I keep hearing from people who seem to be desperately trying to sound, well, that's not beat about the bush, Jim. It's like a phrase that's used by people who are desperate to pretend they're not just racist. So what do we do with this Iranian police officer? He's got his passport with him. Why are you talking about people who haven't got any papers when he was supposed to be on the plane today?
Well, once you've established who and what they are, but you firstly need to establish who and what they are.
Well, that's what we do. That's the asylum application process.
Yes.
And he's still getting deported.
Well, you're not being deported.
Mate, his ticket was cancelled yesterday. If it wasn't for those lefty lawyers, he'd be in Rwanda tonight.
they're not deporting them. What they were actually doing is moving them off country into a safe place while they actually go through their process of seeking asylum in this country.
Yeah, and if it succeeds, no, Jim, you've misunderstood that as well. If the application succeeds, they stay in Rwanda, Jim.
No, they have. Well, that's not what my understanding. And my understanding is they have
with
a right.
respect, I don't care what your understanding is. I deal in the facts. If the application is successful, they stay in Rwanda. So your whole support for this scheme is based upon ignorance.
I wouldn't say that at all, James.
Well, what would you say? How would you describe thinking something is true that categorically isn't? What word do you prefer? Because I'm keen to be generous.
Well, you're telling me now something that is different to what I've been instructed about, which is the fact.
Well, who instructed you, Jim?
Well, process is part of my job, so.
Yeah, who instructed you that the people who successfully apply for asylum in Rwanda get flown straight back to Britain?
No, they have a right. Then, if they're given...
No, they don't, Jim. But who instructed you this? Because if this is something that people in the British military are being instructed about, and it's categorically wrong, I'm 100% confident of that. We've got quite a big story on our hands, and I'll have to alert the news desk. So who told you that the successful applicants can come back to Britain?
James, I can't go into that. But...
Oh, you have to, Jim. Seriously. It's all right. I've signed the Official Secrets Act.
So have I.
So who told you that, Jim?
James?
Who told you that nonsense? Or have you just humiliated yourself on national radio?
No, not at all. And
so who told you that?
Perhaps, James,
who told you, Jim?
To some of your colleagues.
Possibly I do, Jim, but I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you at the moment. So who gave you this false information upon which you've based your entire support for a racist policy?
It's not, James, it's not a racist policy.
Mate, you didn't know what the policy was until I told you 3 minutes ago. How can you even have an opinion on it?
Well, I've been told the policy is
By
very different.
Who told you that?
My superiors.
Now you're lying.
I'm not lying, James.
Okay, so who told you that successful applications in Rwanda, just give me the sort of job description of what they do, or the rank.
James, this is just coming down through paperwork in how
Can I see the paperwork?
No, you can't see the paperwork.
Because it doesn't exist, Jim. Nor can you. It's imaginary paperwork.
James, listen.
I have listened. That's the problem, Jim. If I hadn't, you might have got away with some of this. But here you are, on a line.
Not at all.
The lips are moving.
This is part of a conversation, James. You're saying one thing.
No. I'm telling you the facts, and you're now spluttering inanely.
I'm not spluttering inanely.
Oh, no, you are. Again, that's another fact.
Not at all.
So, final chance. Who gave you the duff information about this?
James, it's duff in your opinion, and your opinion only.
It's not an opinion, Jim. It's written down in law.
James, it's not written in law.
Okay, Jim. You going to tell me who told you?
No.
Have a great day, mate.
And you. Bye-bye.
And there it is, the breaking point. Jim's entire argument, his entire defence of the Rwanda policy, was built on something that simply isn't true. He genuinely believed that asylum seekers sent to Rwanda would return to the UK once their applications were approved. But that's never been the case. The actual policy states the opposite, that successful applicants remain in Rwanda permanently. So when James O'Brien calmly laid out that fact, the illusion shattered. You could almost hear the silence on the other end of the line. The moment reality caught up, Jim had two choices: admit he was wrong, or find a way to save face. And like clockwork, he chose the second. He doubled down, inventing vague claims about military paperwork and superiors' instructions, classic signs of someone scrambling for solid ground when there's none left. But what's truly revealing here isn't just Jim's reaction, it's the pattern it represents. We see it constantly in modern discourse. When misinformation is exposed, instead of reflection, comes deflection. When a falsehood is cornered, it evolves into a conspiracy theory. Because in this era of political tribalism, admitting you were wrong feels more dangerous than staying misinformed. And that's exactly what James O'Brien exposed. Not just one man's confusion, but an entire mindset built on defending ignorance rather than confronting it. And this is where the mask completely slips. James O'Brien does what every good interviewer should. He presses for the source. "Who told you this?" he asks, and suddenly Jim's confidence vanishes. The man who moments ago spoke like an authority starts mumbling about paperwork and superiors, vague, faceless figures who supposedly confirmed his version of events. It's a textbook moment of collapse. He goes from a self-assured policy insider to someone hiding behind imaginary orders, unable to cite a single real source. And that's how misinformation works. It thrives in shadows, in phrases like, "I've been told," or "they say." Because when you shine a light on it, it disappears. By the end, Jim doesn't exactly hang up, but the energy drains out of the call. He's cornered, the facts are clear. He was defending a policy he never actually understood. And the most sobering part? This wasn't a one-off. It's a snapshot of a much larger problem that's only grown since that day. A culture where misinformation spreads faster than correction, and where confidence often matters more than truth. Every year since, we've seen it happen again and again. People repeating talking points they can't verify, defending policies they can't explain, and mistaking belief for knowledge. That's why moments like this matter. They remind us that truth still has power, and that logic, when used well, can expose even the most confident falsehood. So what did you take away from this one? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next deep dive. Thanks for watching, and remember, confidence means nothing if it's built on fiction.